Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special presentation brought to you by the PTE Creative YouTube channel, the home of the Halzari fakemon region, or Pokemon region as I just like to call it. For those who don't know, since we've rebranded, the former name of the channel was the Pokemon Trainer Evan channel, and my Pride and Joy project on that was the Halzari fakemon region, which is my own Pokemon region that had been created for the past 5-6 years now, sharing on the channel. But it's been a while since we've had a visit to Halzari, and I thought that needed to change on these new weekly installments on Wednesdays. Now, before we get fully into that, I want to let you know, stay tuned for the whole thing because there is a little bit of an offer at the end of the video for you to check out. But without further ado, I think it's time to revisit Halzari. First time in a long time, and you get to see the whole regional map for the first time ever. Let's go. So here is the total map of Halzari from top to bottom. And as you can see on your screen, it may seem small, but it's because it is such a massive, massive land area that is totally redone top to bottom with fantasy icon style mapping. I wanted to put it this way so you could see the enormity of the project, the scope of the project I'm creating. The large circle icons that all have different Pokemon typings, those are all Pokemon gyms, which in previous videos I have stated that all 18 types in Pokemon have a gym in the Halzari region. The Halzari region is heavily, heavily based off of the United States and bits of Canada and Mexico as well. But it's heavily United States based. As a United States based artist and someone who is patriotic, although not foolish enough to believe everything about my country, I am proud of it. I'm proud to be an American citizen, and I really wanted to hit home a Pokemon region that was more than just New York City. As good as the Unova region is, I don't think it's the greatest representation that the USA could have in a Pokemon region. But, so you could get a better idea of the scope that you can see in this photo, where there are forests and great plains and hills and small mountain ranges, rocky mountain ranges, enormous mountain ranges filled with ice and mystery. Forests abound here and crashing, waking rivers. I was going to split the map in two so you can see a little bit better zoomed in photo of it. And we're going to start here on the southern end of the map of Halzari. So here you can see the southern end where you can see there's a mountain range that runs the entire left side of the map for the most part. And you can see small cities everywhere. Now, I think it's important to document here the icons and what they all mean. You can see very small, there are little red waving flags, and those are actually Pokemon hostels. I've always found it interesting and unique, the idea of young kids in this franchise just running off when they're 10 years old, and they just get to go on an adventure with no place to stay, no place to go. And you just kind of assume Pokemon centers after a while. Watching anime become the secondary homes of Pokemon trainers. But I thought, let's fix that. So the red flags on the map are actually Pokemon hostels. The blue roofed small buildings, those are all small towns that do have an effect on the game. There are small little things in play. And yes, there's one day I hope to making the Halzari region its own Pokemon ROM, which I would be absolutely thrilled to do, but I am in need of great developers and a great team that would want to help me. So if you're interested in doing that, I'd love to hear from you. Put that in the comment section. Maybe we can get together and start talking. But like I said, the small cities are the blue roofed small buildings, and those are all towns that have their own content, own things to do. But I'm going to go into those a little bit further details. Then the double tiered buildings with the orange roofs and orange decking all are bigger cities that impact the game as well as it was played. The way I designed this was if I were playing a Pokemon game, what would I want and how would it play? Those were the big things to me. So I've put that into the game, which is why there are cities that don't have a gym but are still impactful. And finally, you can see one here, and there is two to the north, I believe, as well, that have the tower basis with a purple roof. And those are major cities that greatly impact the game. Huge urban metropolises that go forth. and impact the game. But the gyms themselves all have own cities with their own content and things to do. Here in the southern region, you can see something like Terra Roar, which is the ground type gym right at the northern tip of a strange desert that kind of pops up out of nowhere. Maybe there's some secrets to be held there. Or Sister's Tumult, the poison type gym, in a very conspicuous poison swamp. What better place to have than a swamp? Or Sister Bay, the more hopeful sister city of Sister Tumult, which is the great water type gym. And then you can see something like Cultivate all the way over to the east, which is in an area where it is abundant farming territory, which would attract giant swaths of insects. So bug type gyms would be perfect there. And as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 gyms just in the southern section of Halzari here, with water, poison, bug, and ground already covered. But we have something like Stelrail, which is the steel capital of Halzari. Or Bold Cliff, nestled in the top of the mountains that are sandwiched in between two large forests, which seems quite fun. And that's my rock type gym, set inside of a quarry, actually, which I can't wait to show you some of the artwork for. Or Hoblanel, which is just this mystical little place where fairy types just love to gather right on the edge of the lake. Scalegon Peak, the home of the dragons, with rocky, sharp cliffs everywhere, and a beautiful, beautiful gym set within those cascading mountains. Fracas Lock, brought to you with fighting types with 2 fighting rivers on alongside of it. Or the Psychic type gym in a Red Cliff style area, very reminiscent of, if you've seen the Red Rocks of Utah, the Bryce Canyon and Zion regions of Utah. Preter Natop is the Psychic gym, and that is where you can see topography like that. Or you can see the Electric type gym like Volton, which is a hydroelectric dam at the largest lake in Halzari as well. But that is the southern half of the map, and we still have my personal favorite of the map, the northern section of the map. So how shall we go? You can see fewer gyms here, but there's a lot more interesting topography, in my opinion, when it comes to adventure. And that is intentional, as the story, as I'm going to continually unveil it to you, has very, very important sections here in the north, as it was the basis for the entire cultural melding of the Halzari region. As I designed this, I thought it was really important to try to be inspired by the natural history of the United States, but put both positive and negative spins on all of it to really bring something to life and become real for everybody that is ever possibly going to play this game or just be told the story of the Halzari region. So here you can see all the way to the southernmost gym here in the north is actually in Meadowend, which is my grass type gym, which is right on the section of plains and right abuts to a forest. Or Gloomdow, which is the furthest to the east in a very murky, marshed out forest, a very dark vibe, perfect place for a dark type gym. Or Avasor, which is a gym nestled atop the plateaus and cliffs of a very large mountain region where flying types will just thrive. Then you have something like Tiplantago, which is a normal type gym, and that city is actually inspired by Chicago itself, my personal favorite metropolis across the entire United States. It's very near and dear to my heart, which is also part of the reason why it has the name that it does. And as we go further, we can see Wraithshade all the way up to the top. That is the ghost type gym, the smallest of the gym possessing cities, with a very, very sad but logical history as to why it is an epicenter for ghost type Pokemon. Or another personal favorite, Hoarfrost, which is all the way up near the northern sections of the map. It's nestled in frost-covered mountains and plains, and just a beautiful winter landscape at all times. But I intentionally went back to the fire-type gym, Ember's Hope, last, as it is the most attached to Halzari's history and how the game would play. Now, as you can see, there are red dots crossing the entire map. Those are all the routes that you could theoretically play on in this game. If it were more of an open world style game, which that would be the ultimate coup de grace dream, you'd get to go anywhere you wanted to that you could. But if we were designing this closer to an old style game such as Leaf Green and Fire Red, or the Gen 2 or 3 games, you're going to have that top down perspective, and that's why those routes are so abundant but fun, because they give you a look into all the landscape. But all the routes really start from the small town right south of Ember's Hope and Ember's Hope. That is where your player would theoretically start the game if you wanted to choose the more default setting. And that's how I start my story, is near Ember's Hope in a small town by the name of Witchlet Grove. And that is the hometown of the player and where the epicenter of all the action begins for the player. Ember's Hope is a wonderful, wonderful place because in the lore of the Halzari region, it's kind of the start of civilization as it's known in the Halzari region, and it's a fire type region for a very specific reason. And I avoided some of the more stereotypical locations such as a volcano or, it's just basic areas that you could try to turn into a fire type gym, such as a modern city with a lot of machinery into it. And I gave it more of a natural twist on it that I thought could be really fun to play with from a fire type perspective. And I cannot wait for you guys to see more of history and the story behind the Halzari region as trainers. But another thing I wanted to hit on, the largest mountain range is at the top of the map. It is an icy plain that inspires me so much. The best interpretation I can give to you is think Rocky Mountains, but also think a twist to the northern sections of Middle Earth if you are a Tolkien fan or Lord of the Rings fan. If you do a deeper dive into history there, the frost, the snow, the ice of the northern regions of the Tolkien mythology, known as the Helcaraxe, and those northern mountains are some of the most intimidating, harsh places to live in all of Middle Earth's history. I really took that inspiration while creating these mountains. And as you can maybe be able to tell, there are actually 5 small castles dotted across the landscape that play a huge part in both the history of the past of Halzari and the future as a player, which are dotted by custom icons as you can see around. But here in the Halzari region, there are mystery abounds for players to discover, Pokémon to catch, battles to be won, gym battles to be conquered, and a Pokemon League that could be second to none. I gotta tell you, this map's blacked out on the outside because I may not be done yet, but you'll just have to wait and see on that one. But in total, this is the entire Halzari region with over 30 cities to play in, 18 gyms, and even more dastardly villains to face, gym leaders to conquer, and adventures to be had. I cannot wait for y'all to learn more about the Halzari region. Now, before I give a special shout out to any project here on the PTE Creative channel, I wanted to give you guys kind of a bonus to interact with all of the PTE Creative content and also the merchandise that we have at our Etsy shop. So just as a thank you for watching this video and to celebrate the return of the Pokemon Bliss and Pokemon Oblivion content of the Halzari region, I've given to you this promo code. So if you want to go to our Etsy shop right now, it's called ptecreative.etsy.com. Use the promo code BLISS. Use the promo code BLISS, BLISS, and it's all caps, to get 20% off any order of 2 items or more. And that sale ends March 13th, 24. So that is going to be a month from the premiere of this video, which is also Valentine's Day here in the US. And peace, love, and hugs to everyone who came and saw this video. But use that promo code. You order just 2 items or more from our Etsy shop, and you are going to get to see a 20% discount on it. And I have awesome Pokemon merchandise littered across it with cool stickers and custom t-shirts for you. Oh, and BT Dub, You can even buy Pokemon cards that are mystery packs that are created from my own personal collection, and I guarantee you some good stuff, unlike some modern stuff that we all like to buy from the Pokemon TCG. So use that promo code BLISS to go to the Etsy shop and find a bonus for yourself there, and it is much appreciated anytime you want to come visit us over at the Etsy shop. But beyond Etsy, engage with the rest of the content. Every single Monday through Friday, you're getting new content. Monday, Pokemon TCG pack openings. Tuesday, you're getting the Onetta Show, which is gaming, sports, entertainment, or just shooting the breeze. You can find that every Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be the home for Pokemon Bliss and Oblivion here on the channel. Thursday is going to be the Onetta Football Show, which is another pride and joy of mine, as football is near and dear to my heart. And Friday is a rotating bunch of shows. You may get pack openings, you may get the adventure show, you may get the brick builder show. Who knows, we might even put some new content out there as well. But once again, engage with the content, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you feel about this video and every other video you possibly can find here on the PTE Creative channel. As always, I'm your host, Evan Davies, and thank you so much for watching this video. It is truly appreciated, as it's a love and a passion of mine that I love to share, and I'm glad you watched. Thank you, and goodbye.